Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan.
And my name's Drew.
We're no experts, but we are
the Sports Reverends.
The big news in the NFL yesterday was all about Drew Brees. Drew Brees, in response to a question about kneeling for the national anthem, was, "I'll never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America." His teammates and other athletes called him out on that, sharing that they feel kneeling is not disrespectful to the flag, that the kneeling was about protesting police brutality. And many of them shared their emotions, their raw emotions, and opinions of how that hurt them. Drew Brees then issued an apology over Instagram and then also made a video afterwards with another apology to all of his teammates and other athletes in the community of people that he hurt. The cool part of this all is that his teammates many of them have posted different posts about forgiving Drew Brees. I thought that's really cool. Demario Davis actually went on Get Up on ESPN and had a whole segment about the respect he has for Drew Brees and what he does in the community. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas posted on their social medias publicly, sharing their forgiveness towards Drew Brees. I'll quote Michael Thomas in his post. He says, he's one of my brothers who made a public statement yesterday that I disagreed with. He apologized and I accepted it because that's what we are taught to do as a Christian. Now back to the movement, #George Floyd. So me personally, I thought this was really cool. I thought that was great. We saw someone who offended his friends and a community. We saw forgiveness. And on top of that, we saw awareness. And I thought that was really cool. Throughout this time, being a visible minority in Canada, my heart's been a bit heavy. It's sad that we needed to see George Floyd murdered for a real movement to change. I have total respect and love for people that are making a change, A, with their wallets, and B, peacefully protesting. I love that. And I love that people are educating themselves as well. As a visible minority in Canada, we need to understand that the United States of America is a lot different than Canada. The systemic racism in the USA starts with African Americans. In Canada, the systemic racism is with the First Nations. Now let's get this straight. All racism is wrong, and we all need to be part of a change. You should definitely continue to educate yourselves, and if you haven't yet, pick up a book, get in contact with someone, just learn. As a minority and many others that I've talked with, the time for statements, it's past. The Instagram posts and Facebook posts of the black squares, they're good, but that's gone and past now. It's time to make a change. We're not here for any kumbaya anymore or for people saying sorry. It's not about a social media fad. It's about getting together and making an active difference. If you don't know how, here are a few ways. Some things we support is the Red Dress Project. We're standing with our First Nation brothers and sisters. The Red Dress Project focuses around the issue of missing, murdered Aboriginal women across Canada. It is an installation of art project based on the aesthetic response to this critical national issue. Another way to get involved is through a program I personally run. It's called Urban Hope. It's the Urban Hope Mentorship Program. It is a program that is in downtown Toronto, working with kids and youth in the inner city. We first and foremost provide a safe space for kids and youth. We also provide hands-on opportunity for kids to learn and experience mentorship skills. One of our taglines is kids helping kids. Another highlight is our weekly programs are all made free, and our week-long summer camps only cost $10 per child. Comparing that to the city of Toronto camps that are $150, it's a pretty good deal, very affordable. We also use sports as a tool to help give kids and youth opportunities to grow and succeed. You can check out the Red Dress Project and the Urban Hope Mentorship Program on our website at www.thesportsreverends.com. Lastly, I look to the book of James in the Bible. It's about faith and it's about works. More than ever, we need to rally to God. That's faith. Things aren't going to change if people's hearts don't change. The book of James also teaches us that you have to have both faith and works. So works. We want to encourage you to actively get involved in making a difference. You can start with your wallet. You can make a donation to a cause that you can get behind. You can always check out what we support if you're interested, if you can't find any other cause you can get behind. We've given 2 ways already, and I guarantee you if you talk to myself, if you talk to Drew, we have enough connections throughout Canada to directly get you connected anywhere you are. If you're in the States or in different countries, we know there's listeners in Ireland and a bunch throughout the world. I'm confident we can still get you connected wherever you are. You can always reach out to us and send us a message. Let's hear a word from one of our people and sponsors that we support. The House of Common is 10 guys, 10 different perspectives on every and any topic. If you like to laugh, subscribe to their channel. If you like to learn, subscribe to their channel. If you like to be challenged, subscribe to their channel. All you got to do is subscribe on YouTube, and it will be one of the best decisions you can make. Check it out, The House of Common. Okay, we are back for the Sports Reverends podcast. How you doing, Joseph?
Pretty good. Had a couple good days of golf the last couple days, but excited to get back to the podcast.
Tell us about it. Come on, I want to hear the deets.
Well, I went out to Riding Mountain National Park yesterday to Clear Lake Golf Course. Supposed to be one of the best golf courses in Manitoba. I've seen better. And I've definitely shot better. So,
Coach, how are you doing?
Coach is good. Still surprised that I shaved my face, but such is life, such is COVID. What are you gonna do?
I am rocking our Sports Reverends hat. I love it. And I also shaved my face.
ooh.
And I need to grow my beard out because it does not look good.
You've always been a babyface assassin, let's be real.
With that being said, yes, I do look younger, which is great. Let's get into some of the quick hitters, the news around the sports world today. And it starts with Oklahoma State men's basketball team has been hit with a one-year postseason ban for the 2020-2021 season and a reduction in scholarships from 2020 to 2023. Lamont Evans was accepting bribes when he worked as the Oklahoma State assistant coach.
NBA teams are going to Orlando on July 7th as they have to quarantine, and the Raptors are heading there earlier.
The NBA draft lottery will be held on August 25th, and the NBA draft will be held on October 15th. Free agency will start on October 18th.
And the NBA 2021 season will start on December 1st.
The MLS Major League Soccer ratified a collective bargaining agreement, which will run until 2025, and have finalized plans to begin the current season.
And finally, the MLB rejected most recent players' proposal, and the owners want a 48-game season. MLB is in some serious trouble.
Let's hear a word from our sponsors before we go anywhere else.
Have you ever thought about how well your investments are performing? Have you wanted to understand how the stock market works and how you can look after your financial future, but have been unsure of where or even how to get started? Train to Invest is North America's leading investment education and training corporation, with the sole purpose of providing a new way of thinking about wealth management. Through teaching, training, and coaching individuals in both the art and science of self-directed investing, Train to Invest offers a complete education and training experience to empower families to begin their journey of planning for future generations through investment education. To find out more, look at www.traintoinvest.com and download our free ebook. Again, www.train2invest.com to find more information about our program and download our free ebook.
Welcome back to the Sports Reverends podcast. We've got some exciting news in the NHL. We've got the playoffs set. The matchups are set, and we're excited to get into it. I thought it would be cool to discuss today who we thought were the most likely underdogs to win of the seeds 9 through 12 through the play-in. Do you guys have any opinions on that, Joel?
Yeah,
Coach?
I'll go first. So I looked at all the matchups, and in my opinion, I got 2 from the Western Conference and 1 in the East. I'll start in the West and save the Eastern one for last. So first, I got the 5 and 12 Edmonton and Blackhawks.
Oh wow!
I'm picking Edmonton Chicago in 5. So the reason why I say that, if you look at the offensive side of things, Edmonton is tied for 14th in goals per game, 29th in shots per game. Chicago is 18th in goals per game and 13th in shots per game. You look at the star power, you got McDavid and Draisaitl versus Kane and Taves. Nugent Hopkins, I think, will have to have a good series for Edmonton to really push through. And then on the reverse side, if Strome or DeBrincat or even Nylander have a good series, that tips it, I think, in Chicago's favor. On the defensive side of things, both teams are really close. Edmonton is 15th in goals allowed per game. Chicago is 16th. Edmonton gives up the 20th most shots, but Chicago gives up the most at 31st. On the special teams, Edmonton has a better power play conversion rate, and Chicago is terrible at that. On the penalty kill, they're both pretty close, but Edmonton is still the second. In my opinion, and you can debate this all you like, I think goaltending is one of the biggest things in playoff hockey.
Yeah, for sure.
I've not that I'm huge into NHL, but I've watched my fair share over the years. And with Chicago getting rid of Lehner, there's questions being brought up, right? But Corey Crawford has had a good half of the year this year. He's really bounced back. And .917 save percentage over 40 games. And over the last 11 games, .929. Versus Edmonton, who's rolling with Koshechkin and Mike Smith, both of which are worse in their saves percentage. And I think playoff pedigree does come into play. I mean, you look at Kane and Taves, they have that they've been there, done that before, and they can really drag their team through. So I think the Blackhawks are going to upset Edmonton. Next pick is a homer pick for sure. I'm picking the Jets over Calgary.
How many games?
Hey?
How many games?
5 games. This is 5 games.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Both teams are top heavy for sure. And the Jets defense is significantly worse. I will give you that for sure. Penalty kill, Calgary's 8th in the league at 82.1%. Winnipeg is 22nd at 77.6%. Goaltending, however, I think is the biggest difference here. Hellebuyck, he's the only reason why the Jets are even in the playoff picture. Absolutely the only reason. He stood on his head. He's done everything he needed to do. He's at a .922 save percentage, a plus 22.4 goals scored or goals saved above average. And this is despite having tons of shots coming his way. So
most shots in the league.
Yeah, most shots in the league. So I'm picking Winnipeg over Calgary in 5. I think it's going to be a hard-fought series, but I'm picking Peg City representing my Jets. And my last one, I saved this one for last for you, Drew. I'm picking
Better not be Columbus.
I'm picking Columbus, baby.
No way.
I'm stepping out. Yes, Toronto has a massive, overwhelmingly good offense. But the defense isn't that great. Columbus, they struggle to score, for sure. 27th in offense, but but on the league average, they're 8th in shots per game, right? Toronto, star-studded defense apparently, but they can't put together. 26th in goals allowed, 19th in shots allowed. Columbus, 3rd in goals allowed per game. They play a very stifling brand of hockey, and that is going to do well for them in the playoffs. And we talked about this kind of off air, and you were happy with Anderson and net, but the rookie there has a higher save percentage.
Yeah.
And so I'm stepping on the limb. This is my quote unquote risky pick. Columbus in 5, boys. Columbus in 5. Oh. I know. Okay. Not what you wanted to hear, but that's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm feeling that. I like it.
Let's hear it, Dan.
I like it. I'm just going to go through a bunch of different stuff here about who's going to win. I got the Blackhawks also in 5 games over Edmonton. I I like the veteran presence there, so that's why I'm choosing the Blackhawks. I got the Wild sweeping the Canucks. Right? The
Wow.
Wild sweeping the Canucks in 3 games.
That's just spiteful.
No, I'm calling it. Watch.
Why?
Watch.
Why are you choosing
Because
He doesn't like Vancouver.
that?
and the Wild are built for the playoffs. That's why. The Jets I got in 3 games over Calgary. Actually, sorry, 4
Wow.
games over Calgary. Obviously, Hellebuck has to be lights out. He's probably should win the Vezina, but that's another conversation we can have. And obviously we need the forwards to start scoring. I think they step it up, and I think this happens. So the forwards are going to take the Jets through to the next round. I got the Panthers in 5 games over the Islanders.
Wow.
They got Bobrovsky. Obviously he has to be decent, but he was the Columbus Blue Jackets when they took down the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has a career .91 save percentage, a career 2.54 goals against average. This year, Florida has barely been at 900, mostly below, and he has been been at 900, mostly below, and has a goals against average of 3.2 this year, 3.23 this year. The real big picture stat that people are using for goalies is called goals saved above average, and this is purely a goal stat. The team does not influence this. Bobrovsky's goals saved above average is at minus 30-ish, meaning an average goalie playing his minutes would have saved 30 more shots from going in than Bobrovsky has. So I'm saying he's going to turn it around. Okay, he's the.
So that's what you were. I didn't know where you were going with that. You're giving all the points that I was going to give that they aren't going to win.
Because I think the Islanders are probably favored to win, but I'm saying he turns it around because he's a playoff guy. He's turning it around. And then just lastly, I got Nashville over Arizona, Pittsburgh over Montreal. I think in my mind, Toronto will beat Columbus Blue Jackets. I think I made the pick already that Columbus is going to beat them like a couple pods ago. But that's probably just my heart and my mind. Toronto wins because, like, is this really, considered real playoffs? Because this is kind of like a regular season playoff, and only when they get to the real playoffs is when, choking starts happening. And I got Carolina beating the Rangers, although the Rangers are going to be set up for the years to come. They're an upcoming team, in my opinion. That's what I got.
That's what you got? All right.
What about you,
So
Drusuf?
You want me to just destroy your picks, or do you want me to give my own picks?
Both, please.
All right. So first of all, you both picked Chicago over Edmonton, which is ludicrous. Okay? Absolutely
Stats say
ludicrous.
otherwise, my friend.
I don't care what the stats say. Edmonton is primed for the playoffs. They have the 2 leading scorers in the whole league. Chicago
Arguably the
is
best one.
Chicago, you call veteran, I call old.
Hey, watch your tone, young man. Watch your tone, young man.
They're older than you, Joel.
Barely.
But yeah,
Actually, I don't know if they are. I don't think they are.
Corey Crawford is just not the same goalie he was. They've got Patrick Kane, their defense is getting so old. Like Duncan Keith, still a great defenseman, but he's getting up there. So I definitely have Edmonton taking that series.
How many games?
4 games. Okay. 4 games. That's really the only pick I had huge problem with. Florida's not beating the Islanders. Bobrovsky is terrible. He's not even going to be their starter come playoffs. Have you looked at Drieger's stats, their backup goalie? Way better.
Bobrovsky. All right, come on.
You just like saying Bobrovsky. You just like saying Bobrovsky. The Islanders are set up. They made that trade with Ottawa. They're ready to go. They're not going to want to waste those picks. My upset that you guys didn't even mention was Arizona. Arizona is going to beat Nashville.
Wow.
Taylor Hall. Not many people know that Taylor Hall is on Arizona. And Taylor Hall is a beast.
I don't think Taylor Hall knows that Taylor Hall's in Arizona.
And they've been getting above average goaltending. They're plus minus. They're +8. Nashville is a -2 on the year on goal differential. And Pekka Rinne is getting up there in years. I know he stole some series earlier in his career. But to be honest, like, I'm a hockey fan, and I'd have to think long and hard about who the star player on Nashville is. Right?
It's a team game, bro. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But Arizona has the firepower now. They're ready to go. They got the goaltending. I call them. It'll take 5 games, but they've got it. Wild are not being Vancouver. No way.
There's no way.
And it's definitely not. And it's definitely not a sweep.
It's gonna be a sweep.
Wow.
Okay, I'll cede with you guys. Jets over Calgary. Jets are my second favorite team, so you can call it a homer pick. But Connor Hellebuck, you guys are right. Goaltending wins championships in hockey. Just look at Binnington last year. Stole the show. And my last pick, which Dan sort of mentioned at the end, was the Rangers over Carolina. I like both teams.
Yeah.
I think Rangers with their firepower. The thing I'd like to see, and I don't know if it's going to happen, because Lundqvist is sort of third in line in goaltending right now. He's had a couple healthy scratches this year, but I'd love to see Lundqvist get a cup, because just a classy guy.
Yeah.
Been with one team his whole career. Love to see Lundqvist make a run here. Don't know if it's going to happen. And
he'll have a couple years though, right? He has a couple years.
Well, he's sort of being pushed out now. Like, he's third string goalie. And he's not going to go down to the minors, and you can only carry 2 goalies during the year. Yeah. So you can carry 3 in the playoffs, which could mean they stick him in there, but
true.
Best dressed guy in the NHL, by the way, says my wife.
All right.
Okay.
Demelza knows.
Demelza knows. And the pick that I want to, okay, so there's a series. I don't know if you guys can guess, but they're my 2 least favorite teams in the NHL facing off against each other.
Pittsburgh and Montreal.
Yes. And I'd love to see the 500 Montreal Canadiens defeat Pittsburgh in the first round.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. I'm not saying it's happening, but that's what I'd love to see.
Okay, I like that.
That's my last.
Drew, I just thought of this. Do you think which team gets affected the most by not having, their fans behind them? Because hockey is such a game that fans play such a huge role, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think you can look at I didn't think about this question before, but I think that's why I'm going with New York over Carolina. Carolina will have home ice advantage, but with this time off, I'm suspecting that Carolina's fans who were up, remember last year in the playoffs, I think with all this time off, the excitement might have died down a little bit, and they might come out flat. Especially they're not going to be in front of home fans. We don't know where the cities are, but
true. Yeah, we don't know the team.
I feel like Carolina played up to their fans last year.
Yeah.
They outplayed what they actually were.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
I think New York with their veterans, plus, Panarin's there now.
Yeah.
And they got some firepower in there.
Yeah,
Mika Zibanejad has been a sleeper MVP candidate. He's had a couple 4 or 5 point games in the last couple weeks of the season.
So, I might add excellent pronunciation.
Very nice. So using your veteran argument here, I think Edmonton would have a tough time too, because the Blackhawks don't have to rely on the crowd. You got a bunch of young kids in Edmonton who really haven't had much playoff success, right?
It's hard to call Connor McDavid a young kid at this point.
Yeah.
True.
He's the best player in the league.
He's going on. What did we say? 4th. I think this would have been his 4th 100-point season.
True, but I mean, we all know playoffs are a different beast.
Yeah.
There's more pressure. He's got to perform, especially as they're a higher seed. And I'm not saying that he won't perform, but it's the rest of the guys. There could be Could be some advantage there for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, could be, but I think teams look to their leader, and Connor McDavid, to me, like obviously I don't know him personally, but seems like a guy that would come in prepared, ready to go.
We hope,
like
yeah.
he's all business. Like,
and he's Canadian, right? Like, I think that plays a factor. The Canadian leaders are just, no offense to like some of the other guys like Austin Matthews or even the Jets, Blake Wheeler and all those guys. Canadians just, they can win the war of attrition, which I think is going to play a huge role this playoffs because injuries. You can look at the soccer league that's already been going on, the Bundesliga. There's been injuries because of the time off. So I think that's going to play a huge role here for all these teams who can stay the healthiest, which I think is going to be tough.
Absolutely.
We didn't mention that. So we don't have a start date for the NHL to start. They're looking at mid to end July as well. They have confirmed that there's going to be 2 bubble cities, but they haven't named those cities either. With that being said, out of these round robin picks, which team would you guys choose if they have a chance? Which they probably now that did we even say the announcement of that they're doing reseeding of the playoff brackets instead of
we didn't say that.
Yeah, so now they're going to be reseeding after the round robin stage, which is going to make it really hard for these teams. But if you had to choose one, which team is going to take home the Stanley Cup?
I think if Edmonton makes it out of the first round, they get the best chance. I think they have a better chance than Toronto.
Just one.
Yeah, I'm picking Edmonton.
Okay, lock it in.
Locked.
It's hard not to pick with your heart, like, because if I go back to my picks, if New York can pull off the upset against Carolina, that means Toronto doesn't have to play Boston. And I think if Toronto doesn't have to play Boston, they have the best chance of making a run. But I like your Edmonton pick. I also think the Jets are built to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
Even with that porous defense?
They're
not.
They're a little weak, but I don't know too many teams in the playoffs that go 3 lines of defense that are solid.
Fair.
It's mostly goaltending and offense firepower. Other than these few teams where you see, I think I was looking at some teams that have less than 200 goals scored for.
Yeah.
There's only a few teams like that, but most of these teams are putting the puck in the net and relying on their goalie to make saves.
Yeah.
Jets have played that very well. Connor Hellebuck stood on his head. He played pretty well in their playoff run.
Yeah.
And I think Scheifele's gotten better every single year he's been in the NHL.
That's huge.
I think down the road you might see Mark Scheifele win a MVP award.
Yeah.
And I love the leadership from Blake Wheeler. Down on through Line, he has his moments like Ehlers. So I think they've got a deep team. They've been in the playoffs before, and goaltending is the key in the playoffs. So my heart pick is Toronto. I like your Edmonton pick, and I'll take Winnipeg as well.
Okay.
But out of that, I'd say Winnipeg has the best chance.
Okay, lock it in. The Jets. Yeah. I love it. My heart pick obviously is the Jets as well. But my mind is going to back to the conversation we were having before. It's about veterans at this point. It's a war of attrition. And that to me boils down to either the Blackhawks or Pittsburgh. And then I'm going with Sid the Kid. I said it before. I'll say it again. Pittsburgh is my team that I'm going with. I'm locking them in, using their veteran presence to take them through this tough. This is going to be so fun but yet so grueling for these teams. But it's going to be so fun at the same time. I can't wait.
I'm not going to watch a game of that series. By the way, Pittsburgh, Montreal. I'm not watching a single game.
What if Montreal's up 2-0?
Yeah, I'll watch to see Montreal beat them.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess if you want to punish yourself, then yeah, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess it's time to hear another commercial, eh?
I think so. Let's roll it.
Let's roll. With no sports to watch on TV, esports have been shooting off the charts. What are esports, you may ask? Well, basically, it's competitive video gaming. Esports are fun to watch, and my favorite gamer to watch is a guy named Vandalized. Vandalized plays a variety of consoles and games, including the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What makes him so unique is that he plays these games with the controller upside down. It is a talent unlike any other. You can check his Twitch stream out, and you can find the link in the Sports Reverends Instagram bio, or you can search him up on Twitch, Vandalized, with 2 Z's or Z's. His control will be upside down. All right, time for my favorite time of the podcast. Time to get to the NBA. Let's talk some NBA playoffs. First and foremost, I am so happy that the NBA is coming back July 31st. Can't wait. 22 teams. It's going to be awesome. Let's just talk about how this format looks. So the way it's set up is that there's 13 teams in the West, 9 teams in the East, and every team is going to play 8 regular season games. They're doing this so that they reach their contract, their TV money contract, to get paid, and also as a precaution for them to have no injuries and things like that. So they're primed and geared up for the playoffs. They will be playing back-to-backs and max 1 day off. Even in the first round, there'll be a few back-to-back games of the playoffs, which is interesting.
Yep.
But it's going to be a grueling, tough schedule. They're going to be in a bubble in Orlando in Disney World, and they talked about giving advantages to the top teams, but that was just all thrown out because Michael Jordan piped up and said, no, there should be no gimmicks in this NBA playoff, even though the Charlotte Hornets aren't going to be there. And yes, okay, so this is how it looks. The playoffs are set up regularly. There's going to be 4 rounds, 7 games per round. The only thing that's changed is they're going to have a potential play-in series for the 9th and 8th seeds in each conference. It's going to still stay East and West. And the rule is if you're within 4 games back of the 8th seed as the 9th seed, you have an opportunity to play in for the playoffs. So in the Western Conference, this is exciting. Right now, Portland sits 3.5 games back. And I think behind Memphis?
Memphis is 8th, yep.
And Memphis is 8th. And then we have the graphic that shows all the other NBA teams that are in it. You have to get within 4 games or be the highest team closest to the 8th seed for them to have a chance. And how this works is it's a double elimination for the 8th seed and a single elimination for the 9th seed. So it's a little bit confusing, but so let's just take, for example, Portland makes it as the 9th seed. Right now at 3.5 games back, they play Memphis. If they beat Memphis once, they have to play them again and beat them a second time for them to get into the playoffs. Same thing is in the East, and which basically is, since there's only 9 teams in the East, right now the Wizards are 6.5 games back. So they would have to catch up within 4 games to catch up. And the exciting part about that is that reportedly John Wall is supposed to be returning at some point. So that could make some noise as the 8th seed. Would you want to play the Wizards with a John Wall and Bradley Beal as your first round playoffs? I would rather play the Magic hands down. But that's just me. Okay.
Wow.
So with that all being said, I know that's a lot of information. Who is a dark horse candidate to win the title aside from the big 4 that we've talked about, the Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, and Raptors? We'll start with Coach.
Coach, yeah, that he had a tough decision with this one. I had a really tough one. In the East, I'll go one East, one West. I'll give you one dark horse candidate each way. I think in the East, Miami is a team to watch out for. They got Jimmy Butler, I think, has found his voice appropriately in Miami. Their team is clicking. They got a bunch of young kids who just don't care and just go shoot the ball and play defense. And Bam is, he's playing out of his mind. I think he's playing out of his mind. So I'm picking Miami. I know that there's going to be popular picks of Boston and Philly, but we've kind of seen Philly. We've seen Boston. I'm going with Miami. I was this close, Drew, this close to picking Indiana, but I'm going with Miami. In the West, this one was tougher because I don't know if you can call him that much of a dark horse, but I think James Harden comes out and does something special.
Ooh.
Oh, boo.
I think James Harden is going to come out, do something special.
Have you guys seen James Harden in recent posts on Instagram lately?
Dude is half his weight.
Dropped 20 pounds.
So, and for him, I think a lot of his issues have been the length of the season, having to do all this. Now he's had all this time off. He's rested, ready to go back at it. So those are my dark horses. One from the East, one from the West. What do you think, Drew?
Well, speaking of guys that are rested, Victor Oladipo from the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, that's my dark horse in the East. Anyways, I've said it on this podcast before, and I still believe it. I think that starting five, when they're healthy, can go up against any starting five. Sabonis has been playing unreal this year. Turner's had some good games. Warren's good games. Brogdon's been good. And Oladipo getting healthy. Love it. Love it.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Stop doing that.
What? Why did it work?
It cuts out.
Brutal. All right, keep going.
But that was a good sound.
My dark horse, again, I don't know if you can call them a dark horse because I think I picked these guys when we weren't even excluding the Clippers and Lakers.
Yeah.
But the Denver Nuggets.
That's a good one.
I love Jokic. I love Jamal Murray. I love how deep their team is. I think they got one of the deepest teams in the NBA. You never know who's dropping 20, which can be frustrating if you're playing
Other
fantasy.
than the Joker.
Yeah, but Jokic, one of the best passers as a big man. I love watching him. He looks out of breath all the time. And he looks like he's not even trying out there. But love him. Jamal Murray, Canadian boy. Would love to see Denver make a run.
Wait, so before I talk to you, Drew, for one sec, Coach, did you choose one out of those two dark horse picks?
To do what? To win the whole thing?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Well, none of these teams are going to win the whole thing.
If I have to choose one of my dark horse picks, I'm picking Houston.
He's got Houston. Drew, who do you got?
I got Denver.
The Nuggets. Well, both of you are wrong. That's horrible picks.
Oh, please.
Well, none of these teams are actually winning, Dan. You took out the four best teams.
A team that actually has a shot. Well, there's two teams that actually have shots are Boston and Philly.
Ugh.
No.
But
shut off your
my
mic.
team that I'm choosing, I don't think anyone in the West really has a shot other than the Lakers and Clippers. I don't see anyone beating them. Although Nurkic should be back for the Blazers. If they squeak into the playoffs, that would be a good 1 versus 8. I'm just saying.
Let's talk about that after.
Okay. But I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers. And Ben Simmons is going to hit mid-range jimmies.
No, he's not.
And they are going to be pretty deadly. I would not want to play the 76ers.
Ben Simmons has been playing more Call of Duty than working on his jumper.
You do not know. You don't know.
100%.
He is an all-star, and he doesn't have a jumper. That's how hard he works at everything
That's how bad
else.
the East is.
No.
The All-Star Game's a popularity contest.
Whoa. No, not when you're not a starter. right?
Yeah.
Chosen by the coaches.
Who else is okay? That's a whole other conversation. I'm still trading Ben Simmons for Chris Paul in a draft pick.
Oh, well, that's
Hands
like
down.
that. You and CB both need like prayer because that's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Why would you trade a young, up and coming superstar for an old Chris Paul that you
Because
have
it
to
gives you a
pay
better chance
so
of
much
winning a
money?
ring. That's
No,
why.
you
It gives
think
you a better
Chris
chance of winning
Paul
a ring.
and you think tell me this
Philadelphia
right now.
has been
Chris
suffering
Paul
during the
and
process.
Joel
for a
Embiid
millennium.
are gonna win a ring.
Absolutely.
Chris Paul
Chris
and
Paul
Joel
can open
Embiid.
three. Chris Paul can throw alley-oops. Chris Paul can play some sort of defense.
That's sort of what they said with the Clippers. How'd that work?
Yeah, that's the
Blake Griffin was missing a
I've
knee
ever
for the whole
heard.
time. I'm telling you.
The
telling
one
you right
thing
now.
you and Trishan Brower didn't talk about Ben Simmons is that he is an elite defender. I told you to go look up the stats.
No,
and
that's
his
it wasn't that much
defensive
of a difference.
efficiency is unbelievable. He's NBA all first team defender this year.
Whatever. Don't care.
Right? Just saying.
Don't care.
Okay, so I'm saying 76ers,
That's
but
a bad pick too.
Just like your hockey picks.
hey, we chose basically the same stuff. Okay.
Well, I've got something to say about our top tens.
He's got something to say.
I've got something to say. A player that all of us forgot about, I think, in our current top tens,
Yeah.
was Bradley Beal.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Bradley Beal's nice.
That's a fair take.
When he's on, he's
been dropping
hot.
50 like regularly.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
At
he's
least
out
40
to prove that he's a top player, I think.
Yeah, because
anyways, when you mention John Wall,
if you're a top player, can you not bring your team to like they're 24 and 40 right now?
Oh, but they have nobody in Washington.
I know. I'm just saying.
Okay, but if you're Orlando, and John Wall's coming back, you're in trouble because Orlando isn't that good.
Orlando isn't good.
I mean, they're still gonna get destroyed by the Bucks for sure. But
you know what though? They have a young center. I think he's part Japanese. His name's Rui Hachimura.
Yeah.
And he was having a great start to the season. He was averaging a double-double, and he then got hurt. He got hurt.
Yeah.
So he's been out.
Thomas Bryant's been
decent. And
decent.
Thomas Bryant's like so both of them together by they're good. So
I think Orlando's in trouble.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
that's if John Wall comes back though.
Yeah. Even if John Wall doesn't come back, Washington 2 games against Orlando, I think they can win.
Yeah. I'd call that too.
Do you guys go ahead, Joel. Coach?
I was gonna bring up Portland in the number 9 seed.
Yeah.
What did you want to say?
I know we talked off air about they're trying to get Zion in the playoffs.
Well, they did.
I think no, but I mean like further than just the play-in games.
Okay.
I think we all know how Dame Lillard likes to. He's kind of like Michael Jordan in the sense that he likes to put a chip on his shoulder.
Whoa! Wait, what? Say it again.
He's kind of like
just
Michael
said
Jordan.
Damian Lillard is Michael Jordan. That's what he just said.
We're cutting that and posting it.
Perfect. But he's got that mentality where he needs to have a chip on his shoulder to do something.
Yeah.
And I think, getting called up by Dan Orlovsky and saying he's not going to play, I think this young man is going to come out gunning.
Oh, yeah.
And that Portland team versus Memphis, I'm picking Portland any day of the week.
Oh, 100%.
Now, Lakers versus Portland.
That's going to be a good matchup.
If Nurkic is there, I think they can do some damage.
Nurkic and Whiteside.
Yeah, because I don't think the guards for LA can cover Dame.
Who's covering Melo? But come on, LA's got good defensive guards. They have Danny Green, they have Avery Bradley, they have Caldwell Pope.
Caldwell Pope's
defensively.
Okay. KCP's okay. I still, but Lillard is just another level.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying. But I think this race for number 9 really comes down to, as much as it really kills me to say this, comes down to Portland and New Orleans and Sacramento. The Spurs are out. Yeah, because Sacramento is the same. Portland, New Orleans, and Sacramento are all the same games behind. The Spurs,
how many back are the Spurs?
They're
half a game more.
Yeah, half a game back.
That's close too.
It's close.
Rule out Greg?
I'm not ruling out Greg. I'm ruling out DeMar and LaMarcus, who've been absolutely garbage this entire year.
Actually, that's not true.
It is true.
I'm ruling out Greg.
No. You don't go against Pop. That's rule number 1.
Look at Team USA last year.
Rule number 1.
What about Jakob Poeltl?
Yaka, baby.
He's not bad. He's doing better. But my point is, I think the Spurs aren't making the playoffs this year, and that's really crushing.
There's too many ex-Raptors on the Spurs.
Bunch of choke artists. You got Rudy Gay. You got DeMar. You got Poeltl.
And you got Marco Bellinelli.
Hey, Marco can shoot the ball nice, though.
I know. I'm just saying, another ex-Raptor. Okay.
But yeah, so I really do think but New Orleans was on fire before COVID.
Who's excited to see Zion again, though? Big
time.
I'm excited.
The other rumor that they've been talking about is Doncic. Well, he's in Europe right now. They've talked about him not being in shape. But that could totally be a lie. Think about how good Dallas could be a dark horse team if Doncic obviously is in shape, and Porzingis was ascending. I'm telling you, he's a caliber, a high caliber player that is excellent.
Has Doncic ever looked in shape though?
Yeah,
he's kind of got that chunky vibe to him.
No, he's not chunky.
Not Jokic fat, but he's not cut. Just saying. That's my opinion.
I like Dallas.
Yeah,
but
Dallas.
They'll have to go against Clippers first round, right?
If things stay the same, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing, because those seeds could change big time.
8 games.
How many games?
8.
Yeah, I don't even think Memphis will be in it.
Yeah, I think they're losing.
But they got a 3.5 game lead. That's a lot.
I don't. Yeah.
I
don't like Memphis.
I'm not a Memphis guy.
I'm not a Joe Val guy.
OKC could make a run too, up the standings.
No, they can't.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think they finish 4th?
Chris Paul is getting hurt.
Chris Paul. You can't have a bottom 10 point guard on your team, and
they do have They do have SGA though. Come on.
I do like SGA. And
SGA. They have Aquaman, superhero.
But you know what? I will say this.
And Nerlens.
The NBA is done in their playoff format. I think it's something different, and it brings a bit of excitement.
I'm upset that they didn't do 1 through 16 though.
The thing that upsets about me is they're doing the Western Eastern Conference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They should just have mixed it up. That would have been
16
sick.
would have been perfect.
That would have been sick.
But yeah. Jordan said, no gimmicks, keep the records.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael Jordan. He's dropping $100 million to different groups that are helping out different neighborhoods that need help, basically. So things like Urban Hope in Toronto, that's the groups he's donating to.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not Urban Hope in Toronto, though. He's not donating.
That's what it sounded like you said.
I meant groups like the one I run in the neighborhood that is helping out with kids and youth in the inner city. That's the groups he's donating to. Wow. And he's doing $100 million over 10 years, which is significant. So I love that.
Samara and Jane is an Australian-based accessories retailer with all of the latest fashion trends from around the world. Ladies, update your style game with gorgeous earrings, necklaces, and other jewelry for affordable prices. And guys, you can shop for that special lady in your life too. Use discount code SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. That's SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. Use discount code at checkout at samaraandjane.com.
All right, you guys good?
We're good.
What you got going on this weekend?
I'm going to a bonfire.
Little
The whole
bonfire.
weekend?
Whole weekend.
What about you, Coach? I mean, Drew.
Well, tomorrow we have a drive-by graduation for Cooper's Wee College,
Ooh.
which is like it's like a Christian preschool, like
Do they
where he learns
have
his books
the
of the
colorful
Bible.
Bibles?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're gonna wear gowns and the hats and everything.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll actually be in Lindenwood. We're driving down to my parents' house and
Oh, nice.
we're gonna do that tomorrow
What time
evening.
is that?
5:30, I think.
Hmm.
So hopefully it's not raining by then.
I literally have nothing to do this weekend. My wife is working night shifts, so I'm gonna play a lot of video games. I'm not gonna lie. Well, boys, it's been a gem. I'm gonna try to get a special guest with us on potentially Monday. A friend of Coach's that used to go to Linden Christian School, who now lives in Florida and is a lead pastor there. His
Florida?
name is John Brothers.
Kentucky.
No, that's where he's from. He's pastoring in Florida.
Oh,
Yeah,
John, I love John Brothers. That guy.
So he might potentially join us on Monday for probably just a segment though. So maybe not the whole show. We'll see.
See.
So all right, guys, it's that time. It's time to say goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.